It's Vern from VFC Knives. What I wanted to show you today were the knives that I've made. This is the first knife. I made it with 1080 steel. These are forged as well as hand filed and hand sanded, and then they do have a pin which I put in with a drill press, or pins that I put in. So this knife, 1080 steel, I'll just kind of show it to you, give you a view of it. It turned out quite well, I think. Kind of a skinning knife, but when you're forging, sometimes at first you don't quite know what you're going to get depending on the thickness of the steel and the way you start forging. So I'll just kind of drag them in here. The second one was, and that was rosewood. This is Purple Heart. So this knife here is somewhat like a hunting design, but as you can see the blade is fairly thin, more like a kitchen hunting knife, maybe for when you bring the animal home with you and you're slicing it up to go onto the table. This is kind of a mean looking, in a sense, type of knife. This is made with 1084 steel. So, and it's approximately close to 10 inches long, probably about a 5-inch blade. So that second knife I made. The next one's kind of just a small, in a sense, paring knife. 1084 steel again, and this is a little bit smaller, and it's I did put a hand grip into it just to give it something a little bit different. Then what I did is I started making some Osage orange handled knives. So this is kind of more of a little bit more of like a utility type. Again, all hand forged, hand sanded, hand filed and hand sanded. And so this is a little bit like a skinning knife too, but more like a utility knife in a sense. Then the next one's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger, Osage orange again, and a thin blade, fairly thin blade. So far I've made some pretty thin bladed knives, outside of the first one, which was extremely thick. So here's another one. Now here's the next one. It's also Osage orange. A little bit different design. I think it's a little bit more, I can use this actually to make my bows. It's a little bit more of a cutting knife in a sense, a little bit more to it, a little bit thicker. And again, Osage orange handle. The last couple I made, it's rosewood. This is a 01 tool steel. So this is the first of the 01 tool steel. And it's a bit different forging process for that. I think this one turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It's kind of like it's about a 3 1/4 inch blade at the most. It's about a 7-inch knife. And I only put one pin in this, just for a little bit of a different look. And the last one is kind of like a shank, but I call it a transitionary knife. It's 01 tool steel. And I kind of like it. I actually like it, I think, more than a lot of the others. If you take a look at it, it's 01 tool steel, and then in the middle there it's a little bit black. That's just sanded slightly, and I've glossed it over with some urethane. And then this part here is actually the scale, the carbonized scale, where the carbon, you can kind of see it's rough, and there's no wooden handle. It's more like a shank in a sense, but it's fairly thick, and I really like this. I like the look. I like the transitions from shiny 01 tool steel right down to the corroded out of the forge. And I hope you can get a good look at that. I'm just trying to, and again, it is glossed over a bit just to give it a bit of a look. Check me out on VFC Archery as well, and subscribe over there, subscribe over here, and we'll get more knives coming your way. Thanks for watching.